Better get the got it.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of DLF Foundation, I welcome all the teachers and the principals for today's webinar. The topic of today's webinar is Legacy of a Teacher, and our guest speaker is Mr. Kamalneet Singh. The topic, Kamalneet Singh. Mr. Kamalneet Singh is a Mr. Kamalneet Singh is a mindset coach and director of Promise, and one of the India's leading ed training companies in the space of 21st century life skills. He is the certified NLP practitioner, a Josh Talk speaker, and a 3-time TEDx speaker who is best known as a chef who dropped his knife and picked up the mic. He has also been associated with schools across the country and has trained teachers and students in the areas like innovative teaching techniques, classroom management, leadership roles, and life skills. He addresses thousands of parents annually on conscious parenting and has authored a book titled The Extraordinary Kids, a book on parenting. As a changepreneur, he is on a mission to impact 1 million lives by coaching people on various aspects of life and facilitate a change in society. Over to you, Kamalneet sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Really appreciate. Thank you, Meenakshi madam, and the entire team of DLF. You know, they say that an event can last for about 1.5 to 2 odd hours, but there is a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of preparation, a lot of emotion, and a lot of thought that goes into it. So my heartfelt thanks to the entire team of DLF. And you can probably raise your hands and probably put them on your back and pat yourself, and for all the work that you do. And I see that we have we have a lot of teachers who have joined in now. So good afternoon, everyone. I can see that tanning has taken over. There's a lot of tanning that has happened because screens look black. And so for people who are probably driving, it is okay to to keep your cameras off, and for the ones who for whom it works out, and if you can have your screens and cameras on, it would be good to see each other and probably say hello, hi. So Mala madam is the first one to turn on the camera, so thank you. I can probably give you a virtual high five, and thanks for doing that. And I see a few more faces out there. So are you all there with me? You can probably do, you can use the emoji. We have Shrestha madam giving us a thumbs up. Okay, so for the ones who are not there, maybe you can use emojis out there. I can see Preeti madam. Okay, got that. So we have Sunitha madam. I see. It's like this. We have Rachna madam. We have teachers who we can see. So thank you very much. It is indeed a pleasure and an honor to be leading this session. And I really want to acknowledge each one of you. I know that you had a long day, and a lot of you have just returned from the school and have immediately logged into the session. Is that true? And I think you started early, you finished your day in the school, and you're probably back here and attending the session. And they say that only a teacher can do this, and no one else. So really appreciate that. Let's do one thing. I think let's put our hands out there, put our right hand out there, put your right hand out there. Even if you're behind the camera, देखो मेरे पास ना एक टेक्नोलॉजी ऐसी है कि मैं कैमरे के पीछे भी देख सकता हूँ, right? I didn't want to tell you that, but now I'm sharing with you. I can see behind the screens even if the cameras are off. So take your right hand out and probably bring it on your left shoulder and pat yourself for putting in this effort. I really want to share something with all of you. The title of the session is called Legacy of a Teacher, right? Now, 2.5 years, March 2020, everything changed. just about everything changed, and things were going all fine. Things were offline. We were doing our sessions, and suddenly we were told that nothing will work. Kids can't come to the school. We can't go to the school, and everything has to be shifted from offline to online. And all we had was just about 2 weeks, because most of the schools, they begin right in the first week of April, and all we had was we had 2 weeks, just 2 weeks to shift from offline to online. And a lot of teachers had no idea. They had no idea as to how this whole thing, how the whole technology thing works. And I've been leading sessions for teachers, and I heard from them that while they would prepare their PPT, they would call somebody at night कि PPT तो बन गई है, अभी आगे कैसे होगी? How would this? How do I share my PPT on the screen? Or how do I change the slides, and how do I, uh, I'm doing the gestures, लोग सुन नहीं पा रहे हैं, microphone कैसे चलेगा, cameras कैसे work करेंगे, how would the entire thing work? But there was one thing that stood tall for everybody, that the teachers did not give up. The teachers really did not give up. Now, had the teachers given up, I can tell you that the whole education system would have collapsed. Not that everybody had challenges, everybody had challenges, some or the other kind of challenges, but the teachers were dealing with their regular challenges. It can be economic challenges, it can be challenges how to go about dealing with their kids, how to manage their home, food, and at the same time, they were also managing the school, the regular working of the school, that too without having too much knowledge about how this whole technology thing would work. But the teachers did not give up. They did not give up, and that is what ensured that the system did not collapse. So really, 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 hats off to each one of you. And without you, the education system would have taken a very different shape. So wherever you are, whether you're driving or you're sitting at your place or you're sitting comfortably in a couch, up kahin pe bhi ho, it's time that you tell yourself, I did not give up. I think, and probably pat yourself, because sometimes लोग हम लोगों की तारीफ कर देते हैं, and we acknowledge people around us, लेकिन हम अपने को acknowledge करना भूल जाते हैं. Would you agree? We forget ourselves in the whole, in the whole process. And I think they say that charity begins at home. So is the case with recognizing our own efforts. So wherever you are, I see Tanya madam on the screen there. Madam, I think a pat on the back for everybody. I think nobody should be left out. I can see जो नहीं करेगा ना उसके लिए penalty है. Madam, penalty सोचनी पड़ेगी क्या लगानी है, but just on a lighter note, I think everybody know that deep within, it's because of you that things worked out. Not to say that there are we don't have challenges. There are learning gaps. There are tons of them. But without you, things would have really not worked out. So thank you very much for who you are and what you did and what you keep on doing. Thank you very much. Now, coming to the title of the session, it's called The Legacy of a Teacher. Now, let me share a quick story with you and set the context as well. Now, how many of you are teachers at the same time? You're also parents. Can I see a thumbs up, or can I see your hands up? Maybe via an emoji, or if you're there, okay. I see Kushbu madam out there, okay. All right, let me go across the screen and see. All right, I see Preeti madam, I see Rachna madam, I see, I think Lalit sir, I believe, and okay, I see quite a few, right? So while you are teachers, you're also, parents at the same time. So managing kids in the school and managing kids back home, easy or difficult? Easy or difficult? You can write E for easy in the chat box, or probably if you find it difficult कि बहुत कुछ है करने वाला, you can probably write D in the chat box. So E for easy and D for E, okay. Okay, got that. We appreciate your spirit. There are people who are thinking कि मैं कैसे बताऊं कि ये कितना मुश्किल काम है, you know. That's probably the inner feeling. Don't ask me, you know, हाँ public domain में लिख देते हैं E, लेकिन दिल से पूछो, it's a very टेढ़ा काम, right? But I really acknowledge that, you know, playing roles on both the sides, you know, is not, definitely not easy, but yes, it gives you an insight as to what goes on, you know, what goes on in a classroom, what goes on in a teacher, you know, in a child's mind, and that gives you a very fair idea that how do we really go about managing things. Yeah, I see that you know, किसी ने नहीं लिखा D, मैडम ये बहुत अच्छी teachers हैं, they're taking all the challenges with a lot of ease, कि जो आ रहे हैं आने दो, we'll probably handle this. Now,
Kamalneet,
yes, madam.
I just wanted to request everyone, you know, if you can just have the videos on, and I'll request my team to take a quick picture of the beautiful educators with us today.
That will be good. So all the teachers out there.
Can we do that?
Yeah, I think even before I could ask for, I think they're listening to you, and the cameras are getting turned on. And yeah, so can you all wave? Yeah, I think that's good now. You know, that gives me a lot of energy. Okay, got that. Okay. All right. I think some of them have just run to the mirror and they're probably setting up things. And I think in a minute or so, kuch aur cameras bhi on ho jayenge, right? So yeah, we have a lot of cameras on. Is there somebody, madam, looking at taking a picture? Is somebody handling that? Teachers are saying that अगर थोड़ा सा time है हमारे पास तो हम थोड़ा सा और तैयार हो जाते हैं, right? Tanya madam, are you looking at that? Are you handling the picture part of it?
Vidushi is. She's taking the picture.
She is, okay. So everybody, I think you know, on a count of 3, you can give a big close-up smile, and we know that, okay, we are happy. So 1, madam, is your cameraman ready? Your camera woman ready?
Yes, so it's ready.
So
I would request all of you to please show your happy and smiles.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Done, sir.
नेहा मैडम, आपको लंच नहीं मिला आज? आप खुश नहीं लग रहे थे पिक्चर में? Just on a lighter note. Okay, I think we have captured happy pictures out there. And yeah, she's happy now. Yeah, Neha madam, I can see you're happy now. Got that. Okay, so if we can keep the cameras on, that will be great. If it works for you, you know, we can, the exchange of energy would be much, much better. So let me share a quick story with you. There was this mother and a son, you know, shopping in the market, and they were buying clothes. And suddenly the mother said that, you know, there is somebody who is looking at you. And the son was a little puzzled as to, you know, who is looking at me. And as he turned around his face, and he saw a familiar face, and from a distance, he gave a smile, and there was a big smile on his face. And nothing was said, but a smile was exchanged, and 2 people started walking towards, you know, each other. And as they walked towards each other, this boy goes down with his hand and touches a feet, and it was his class teacher. The boy had grown up and he bumped into his class teacher after many, many years. And the teacher looked at him and said, Chetan, do you remember me? And Chetan was, you know, he was almost in a state of shock that after so many years, madam was able to take my name. And he said, Ruchi madam, I'm surprised and shocked that how come you remember my name, because आपने तो इतने सारे बच्चों से deal किया है, and how do you remember my name? And she said, you know, for me, any child and every child who I ever dealt with, I always found them special, and I made my best efforts to remember their names. And he was really moved by the gesture that itne saalon ke baad, you know, this teacher remembers. And the best thing happens is when this boy turns around and says, you know what, mom, she's that Rushi madam, do you remember? And now the funny part was the teacher remembered the mother remembered the teacher, but she didn't remember the name as such. And the mother said कि मुझे आपका फेस तो याद आ गया लेकिन मुझे नाम नहीं ध्यान आया था and आपको मिलके अच्छा लगा. And this boy Chetan goes on to tell his mother that, mom, when I was losing confidence, when I was not able to do things the way I really wanted to, she was the one who kept on saying that, you know, I believe in you. You will be able to do it, Chetan. Don't you worry. Things will fall in place. You know, things will fall in place. Things will fall in place. And this lady goes on to ask Chetan, Chetan, what do you do? And Chetan says that, you know, I am a software engineer today with HCL, and I'm doing very well for myself. And he says that, you know, had you not said those words when I was a little shaky and I was not too comfortable, not too confident, I would have been, I don't know, you know, what would have happened. And the mother had tears in her eyes. The teacher was more stable. The mother had tears in her eyes, and she said that, मैडम वो वाले जो दिन है बच्चों के, उन्हीं दिनों ने आज बच्चों को बनाया है. You know, जो टाइम उन्होंने आपके साथ स्पेंड किया है, वही टाइम इन बच्चों को जो है, उसी टाइम ने इन बच्चों को तैयार किया है. It was a brilliant conversation, and everybody went back with a smile on their face and a memory in their heart that they will always cherish. Now, one side of the story, there was another mother and daughter, you know, moving in the mall, and the daughter went to the mother and said, mom, yahan se chalo, fatafat chalo. And the mother said, what happened? Kya ho gaya? And she said, you know what? मेरी ना वो खड़ूस वाली टीचर आ गई है यहाँ पे, वो मुझे यहाँ पे भी ना झाड़ लगा देगी सबके सामने, तो फटाफट चलो यहाँ से. And the mother said, कोई बात नहीं लगाएगी, मिल लेते हैं. And she says, no, mom, I don't want to meet. And she literally dragged her mother कि यहाँ से चलो, and she takes the mother away. And the mother ends up saying that कि क्या तुम शरारती थी स्कूल में या फिर सभी को डांट पड़ती थी. And this young girl gives a very interesting answer. She says, you know what, कि किसी की गलती हो या ना हो, ये मैडम को रोज गुस्सा किसी ना किसी पे तो निकालना ही होता था. And they have a smile and they just walk away. Now, you know, look at two contrasting scenarios wherein somebody, you know, having a conversation and feeling for their teacher that, you know, she turned around my life. And there's another conversation happening parallelly wherein somebody is running away, you know, literally running away कि यहाँ से भागो, ऐसा ना हो कि मैडम यहीं पकड़ के कहीं लगाई ना दे. अब तो क्या टाइम चेंज हो गए हैं, you know, we don't do this. How many of you use these flying saucers? किसने use किए हैं? Okay, let me paraphrase it. किसके ऊपर हथियार चले हैं? किसके ऊपर चले हैं? You know, how many of you had it? I had it. And how many of you had it from your teachers? You know, Shelly madam is very happy, and she's saying, "Mat pucho, you know, kitna mere saath kya kya hua," right? So she's laughing out there. Anybody else who had it? Like, okay. Anybody else? Nidhi madam is thinking, बताऊं या ना बताऊं? मेरे साथ भी बड़ा कुछ हुआ है, right? But anyway, she raised her hand. You know, coming back to the context of how you are seen as a teacher, not just within the school, even when, you know, the kids they leave out. And you know, I have had the privilege to be with the kids, to be with the parents, and to be with the teachers. And I really acknowledge and appreciate and respect all the experience that you have. At the same time, I'll share a few things that I learned from my experience being with teachers, kids, and parents. And we see that how we can, you know, bring these experiences together and make a difference to these young souls in the school. Right now, are you all there? Are you all there? Can you wave? Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. Take it. Got that. So anytime there is a technical glitch, would appreciate, you know, if you lose me by any chance or any issue, You can put it in the chat box or maybe unmute and share it with me. All right. So, Madam, am I the co-host? I want to share something on the screen.
Yes, sir. You have the co-host, right?
Perfect. All right. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay. Yeah. Okay. The forgotten warriors that prevented a collapse. That's exactly what I was referring to. That all of you prevented a collapse, a physical collapse of an educational system. And at the same time, I also want to talk about a mental collapse that did happen because of the pandemic. We have been able to contain the physical pandemic to a great extent. And what WHO is saying is that whatever happened in pandemic has also led to a mental pandemic that is surfacing slowly and gradually, and especially amongst the youngsters, the school going kids, and that is something that you and I together we have to contain as much as possible, right? Now, before we go into containing that issue, let's do a quick game and see and probably recall a few memories from the school. So I'm looking at a couple of volunteers. Can I have a couple of volunteers? Don't worry. You'll not be assigned a very difficult task. So Renu madam, should I consider that you are a volunteer? Okay. Any volunteer? Okay. Shrestha madam, are you a volunteer? Okay, so let's do one thing. Let's begin with a very simple activity, and I'm going to give you a tongue twister. Let's see if you can pull this off well. Are you ready? And this is not going to be kacha papad pakka papad. It's not going to be that. And are you ready? So I'm sending you the request to unmute. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
All right.
Yes.
Are you all set?
Yes, sir.
Got that. So I'm going to give you a tongue twister, and you have to see if you can do it 10 times in a with a flow. There are people who are probably practicing. I think unki lip sync dikh rahi hai. I think they're practicing something. I don't know whatever they are practicing. Okay, got that. So Shrestha madam, for you the tongue twister is upper roller, lower roller, upper roller,
Really very
lower
difficult.
roller.
Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, madam.
It's really very difficult. I tried this many times वैसे.
कोई बात नहीं, आज दोबारा करके देखते हैं. They say that teacher की कभी हार ही नहीं होती है.
Let me try. So it's upper roller and lower roller. You said right?
So upper roller, lower roller, upper roller, lower roller.
Okay, so I'll try. Upper. Okay, I'll try again. Upper roller, lower roller, upper roller, lower roller, upper roller, lower roller, upper low. It's kind of difficult. Upper roller, lower lower.
Okay, so that's okay. I think can we give it a round of applause for making that attempt? So don't be a conjuice, don't be a miser in giving appreciation. And yeah, I think now people are responding. Rachna madam was busy all this while practicing. Rachna madam keh rahe jo ho raha hai hone do screen pe. She's constantly practicing, right? So I'm going to go to thank you Shrestha madam for attempting that. I'm going to go to Deepthi madam. Madam, I think you're also practicing, I believe. Are you with me? Can you hear me? Deepti madam, are you there?
Sir.
I'm sending you a request to unmute. दीप्ति मैडम, ये आपकी पिक्चर लगी हुई है, आप खुद हो वहां पे?
मैं हूँ.
आप, you're there. I can see you moving.
I am here, sir.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see the movement. Yes, yes. Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and attempt? 1, 2, 3, go.
Okay. Upper roller, lower roller. Upper lower.
Okay.
Upper roller, lower roller. Upper roller, lower roller. Upper roller, lower roller.
Okay. Go on, madam. 10 times.
रुकू नहीं.
नहीं मैडम, रुकना नहीं है. रुकना मना है. टीचर्स को रुकना मना है.
Okay, sir. I will try. Upper roller, lower roller. 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 Fine. It's fine now.
Okay. I think let's give her a round of applause. I think that was a very good attempt that she made. And yeah, so we see, let me go to people wherein the cameras are on. Camera ban mat kar dena, because I said ki let me go to people jahan pe cameras on hai. So keep your cameras on. Let me identify somebody. Let me go to page 2. All right. Okay, so we go to Amita madam. Amita madam, can you hear me? I'm sending you a request to unmute.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3. अब आपने ना Shrestha madam and Deepti madam ने attempt किया. अब आपने try करके देखना है कि can you go beyond that? Are you ready?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Go for it.
Upper roller, lower roller, 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 upper roller, lower roller.
Wow, fantastic! I think she is superb in doing this. Madam, which school are you from?
Sir, Shishu Kalyan School.
Fantastic. मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि आपके स्कूल में अगर हम कैमरा लगा के देखें आज आपने सारा दिन क्या किया है, तो एक वीडियो दिखेगी जिसमें हम प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं.
No, sir, no.
Very well executed.
Sir, we all are in same school. I think so. Yes.
Okay, got that. So फिर I think काफी सारी teachers ने आपको देखा होगा आज practice करते हुए. So you did it very well. You did it very well.
Thank you.
So that will probably come back to a few more activities, but you know how I want I want to connect this to the whole context of these sessions. When a child comes to your classroom and a child feels that so the conversation in a child's head should be that my classroom is fun. My teacher ensures that I learn as well as we all have fun. When that happens, that's the sign of a teacher who leaves a legacy. And every time I say legacy, I'll keep reminding you of the story of those two different parents, and one who saw the teacher went and touched her feet, and the other one said bhago bhago bhago, right? So you will always have to make that choice, right? A conscious choice. Which side would you want to be on? Now let's move ahead, and I want to share a few things with you. Give me a quick second. Let me share my screen. All right. So do you see a number on my screen? It says 75%. Now, as teachers, as educators, when you look at this number, You know, what is the very first thing, that comes to your mind? Maybe you can use the chat box and put it in the chat box. What is the very first thing that comes to your mind? The first thing. Let's see what the chat box has to say. Okay, so we have, yeah, I'm waiting. What is the very, and remember, you know, there are no wrong answers, and we will not charge you anything for giving a wrong answer. And, you know, answers are all free. Okay. Attentive students, Rashna madam says that attentive students. So maybe a class has 75% attentive students. Attendance and marks may be, okay, 75% able to do tongue twisters. Okay, Ankita madam is connecting it with jo humne abhi kiya, that only 75% will be able to do tongue twisters. All right. Okay, got that. Not 75, madam is saying 75% of the class is not attentive. Okay, so different perspectives. Got that. 75% download. मुझे लग रहा है अंजू मैडम साइड बाय साइड कुछ डाउनलोड कर रही है, वो 75% हो गया लग रहा है. I think maybe she's telling us that. Okay, got that. And so different perspectives on you know, what 75% can mean. Now I'll share with you as to what this really stands for. And this is one thing that if this is understood well, and if you're able to apply that in the classrooms, this will make a huge difference. Now they say that 75% of a child's overall development. Okay, I think there's another answer. Amita Sandhu madam is saying that the student who get this number enjoy life as well as these are good in studies. Okay, so good balance. You know, by the way, about 10-15 years back, this number was highly in demand in terms of marks, and parents would say ki, you know, beta, agar 75 aa gaye na to maza aa jayega. You know, distinction, 75% denoted distinction. Okay, so Vikas sir is, I think, saying 75%, then students can do blast in the career. I hope you're referring to a positive blast, right? So, so you know, parents would say ki beta 75 aane chahiye, you know, distinction kab aayegi? Yes. And you know, I'll share something very personal. I was an average child, and I would score 67 and 68, and every time I would come back home, and the day the result would be out, I would have this hesitation to share this result with my parents, especially my father, because I would feel that he would get angry listening to the marks. And on the day of the result, I would serve him water, ठंडा पानी थोड़ा सा, क्योंकि अगर जब गुस्सा आएगा तो ठंडा पानी काम आएगा. And I would serve him cold water, and he would look at me and he would say कि आज बेटा तुम पानी कैसे ले आए? Result आया है क्या? And he would get it. I said, yes, Papa, result आया. कितने आए हैं? And you know, I would have this hesitation to share, and I would say, you know, 67.2, jitne bhi number aaye hain. And he had this constant query ki putar, you know, in Punjabi he would say, putar, distinction kad aayegi teri, you know, which means distinction kab aayegi. And I would have a constant answer to this, and I would say, you know, Papa, next time. And he would say कि पता नहीं कितने सालों से मैं next time सुन रहा हूँ, पता नहीं कब आएगी, you know. And I would feel little off कि काश मेरे 75 आ जाएं, and you know, my parents would be happy to look at the distinction. And finally, when I appeared for my, you know, 10th grade examinations, and you know, the result came out, and I love that answer. So somebody has written in the chat box, in 75%, in those times, 3 students used to pass at this time. उस time पे 75 में तीन manage हो रहे थे. I get that. So
sorry to interrupting you, but this is
Yes, please.
especially for the boys. Actually, at that time, you know, boys usually used to say this कि 3 pass होते हैं इतने में तो. Girls जितने like 90 में रोती हैं तो वो कहते हैं इतने में तो हम 3 pass हो जाते हैं.
So true. I think
yeah,
this is a very real life example, and you know, boys would say that कि
Yes.
जितने में तुम रो रहे हो इतने में तो हम 3 लोग हो जाते हैं बस. So true. And when I appeared for my board examinations, and I put in a little more effort, I would score, initially I would study for about 1.5 hour. मैंने आधा घंटा ज़्यादा पढ़ाई थोड़ी करनी शुरू किया, so let me probably study a little more, and I wish I can score 75%. And the result came out. And back then results जो है इस तरह phone पे नहीं आते थे. Either you had to go to your school or you had to go to a nearby internet cafe जिसकी speed बहुत ही बुरी होती थी, pathetic speed. And so I went and I entered the roll number, and then there is on the screen वो ना डमरू घूमता था, the processing that's happening, and that's happening, and finally the result came out, and I did the calculations of the result. And I was a little shocked, and because I was hoping for something. And any guesses, how much did I score? You can use the chat box maybe. Any guesses as to how much did I score? Okay, some participants are raising their hands. Okay, somebody wrote 60. Okay, who is that, by the way? Okay, I think it is Twinkle madam. Okay, 60 की बहुत demand है, I think. Ratni madam also 64, Nidhi madam. Okay, somebody wrote 85, I think. That's my favorite teacher, by the way, whosoever wrote 85. Okay. Okay, around 77. Okay, got that. Shelly madam says 80. Any other guesses? And any other guesses? 82. These are nice teachers, by the way. I think I appreciate. Okay, 90. Shrestha madam, suddenly you have taken the pedestal of my favorite teacher, right? So okay, got that. So okay, 80, 82. Okay, I'll give you the answer. I scored 76.2%, and that was the very first time. And I am seeing a few thumbs up, thank you. And that was the very first time I felt 90 पे lock कर दो sir. Okay. I wish I never scored 90, by the way, never. And okay, so 76.2. And I came back home, and us time pe na printout used to be, especially on the day of the result, these printer guys would make the rate of the printouts pretty expensive. Ab to sasta hai. Back then a black and white printout would be 10 rupees. I took a printout, came back home. I remember my father is standing in the drawing room. I come in and I say, Dad, I got 75%. And he gave me a blank look, and I said 75%. And he looked at me. He said, Putar, dekh uspe naam kiska likha hua hai, on the printer. And I really got angry, and I said, Dad, it's my result. I got 76.2. And he said, I'm just joking, and he hugged me. And my mother comes around, and I tell her that, Mom, 76.2. And she's thank you, Ratni madam. And mothers are a little emotional, and I'm happy, I'm laughing, I'm enjoying. Mom, 76.2. And she has tears in her eyes. I said, what happened? I finally got the result. And she said, what? There are people who have been calling for a couple of days, your relatives, and what they are saying is कि result आने वाला है, और अगर अच्छे नहीं आए तो गुस्सा नहीं करना उसको. So I thought, wow, they were already assuming कि नहीं आएंगे, So we all have relatives who are already assuming that he or she won't do well in life. But anyways, she was happy to call back and inform that I could do a distinction. But what happens today? If a child comes back home and says, Mom, Dad, I scored 75%. Generally the mother has this tendency to look at the child and say, Nalayak, मैं सारा साल बोलती रह गई, पढ़ ले. And the best part is she is looking at the husband and saying, मैं आपको भी सारा साल बोलती रह गई, इसको देख लो. And you kept on saying, कर लेगा, देखो क्या किया है. And the poor man runs with his bag outside the house, and he says, I am going to the office, right? Now, times have changed, and I'm not referring to academics. In fact, I'm not I'm not a big fan of academics. I feel that if a child is, I believe in something I'll share with you at a later stage, but I definitely feel that, not only academics, It has to be a combination of overall development. It has to be holistic development, because academics alone will not serve the purpose in the given scenario. Are you with me? Academics are important, but alongside academics, holistic development is very, very crucial, right? So anyways, coming back to what this 75% stands for, very, very crucial. What they say is that 75% of a child's overall development, listen to this one carefully. 75% of a child's overall development happens by the age a child turns about 14 or 15. 75%. And they say that their belief systems, their core values, how they look at their life, how they look at themselves, how they value themselves, what perceptions do they form around people, what perceptions do they form around their own self, their own body image, their self-image, their self-esteem, all of it majorly gets developed by the age of about 14 and 15, majorly 14, 15. And the only scope left for development is 25%, जिसके लिए सारी जिंदगी पड़ी है. But 75% of a child's overall development happens by the age a child turns about 14 or 15. So very, very crucial. And scientifically, how it works out is, I'll share something with you. You know, put your hand up. Show me your hand. Show me your hand. Show me this finger. This finger. ये जो आप बहुत use करते हो. So show me this finger and take it to the back of your neck. Take it to the back of your neck. जहाँ पे आपकी neck खत्म होती है. Take it to that area. Now you will see the area where your neck finishes. वहाँ पे एक bulging out है. There's a वहाँ पे थोड़ा सा उठाव feel होगा आपको. Correct? Can you feel that? जिसको नहीं हो रहा वो नियर बाय डॉक्टर को दिखाओ, बिकॉज़ सभी का होना चाहिए, राइट? सो देयर इज दिस एरिया ऑफ द नेक, यू विल फील अ bulging out here. Now you can bring your hands forward. Some people are, they're trying very hard to find out कि कहाँ पे है, वही है, right? So it's there. Now this area of the neck has a factory. Don't worry, get your hands in the front. ऐसा ना हो कि वो ढूंढते वो वल पड़ जाए, बाद में मीनाक्षी मैडम कहें कि वर्कशॉप में ऐसा क्या हुआ कि मेरी टीचर्स को वल पड़ गया था, राइट? So bring your hands in the front. Now this area of the neck has a factory of cells known as mirror neurons. Very important, very crucial, and defines how a child looks at his life. This area of the neck has a factory of cells known as mirror neurons. Mirror neurons, right? Can you just do your lip sync and say mirror neurons? Mirror neurons. Okay. Some of you can put it in the chat box by writing MN. Mirror neurons. MN. You can put it in the chat box. Mirror neuron. MN. Okay, got that. So Amita madam has put that. Okay. Mirror neurons. Okay. We have Karishma madam, Vikas sir. Okay. A lot of you. Mirror neurons. Got that. Fast learners, by the way. So this area of the neck has a factory of cells known as mirror neurons. And what happens biologically is that right from birth to about 14 or 15, the growth of these mirror neurons happens at an exponential pace. It's a pretty exponential pace through, by which these are. Okay, people are still writing mirror neurons. So the pace of these mirror neurons, the growth is exponential. And by the time we hit about 14, 15, there is a saturation in the growth, and then there is a decline. It is something like this. Let me put it on the whiteboard. So let's say this is the graph. Right from birth, this is how the graph goes. Till 14, 15, there is a saturation, and then dhire dhire agar decline hai. Now, what happens is when you meet these kids who are about 16, 17, 18, and you tell them, beta, no, this is not right or that is not right, they generally have a tendency to say, mujhe mat batao, mujhe malum hai, right? Don't tell me. Now, there can be two reasons for that. One is that their probably surroundings is not really helping them to be very open and take feedbacks. Second, biologically, जो reception है, जो brain का जो inputs लेने का reception है, that's also going down with the downflow in the in the production of mirror neurons. And so they have three functions. Mirror neuron has three major functions, right? How many functions? Can you show me with your hands? How many functions? Three. You know, some people are very smart. उन्होंने ऐसे कर दिया, मुझे ऐसे में 2 और 3 में confusion हो रही है. ऐसे करके दिखाओ, right? So, okay. So 3. Okay, got that. So there are 3 functions. So function number 1 is they observe. They observe. You know, and I think since we are doing it virtually, had we done this physically, it would have been different. But now that we are doing virtually, let's use gestures, and so that I know that you are with me. So function number 1 is observe. So can you show me a gesture of observe? Observe. Okay. कुछ लोग बहुत ज्यादा कंजूस हैं, उन्होंने मतलब हाथ भी ऐसे घुमाया कि वो पेट्रोल ही ना लग जाए जैसे उनका हाथ घुमाने में. You know, petrol is getting expensive, right? So some people just did like this. You know, a full observe. You know, can we do it once again? 1, 2, 3. Okay. Yeah. Full observe. So first function is that these mirror neurons, they observe what is happening around them, right? Now, once they observe, function number 2 is they absorb. They absorb. They absorb like a sponge. You know, it's very popularly said that जो बच्चे का जो brain है, वो एक sponge की तरह चीजों को absorb कर लेता, right? Function number 2 is they absorb. So can you do a gesture with me? They absorb. They absorb. Okay, got that? So Sunita madam, कोई charges नहीं है gesture करने के. Okay, so she's saying let me showcase the full camera, right? Okay, so they absorb. Now once they observe and then they absorb. Now, this is a $1 million point that you should keep in mind. When the right time comes, you know, when the right time comes, all of that was observed and absorbed, they express. You know, when the right time comes, they express, right? Can we do the gesture? We'll get Sunita madam to do the gesture. Sunita madam, they express. Can you do that for us? मैडम ने ना पूरा कैमरे का ही एडजस्टमेंट कर दिया कि दिखना चाहिए इनको, नहीं तो बार-बार बोलेंगे, right? So I think, yeah, you know, kudos to you for making that effort. So 3 functions: observe, absorb, and express. Now सुनने में बहुत simple लगता है, right? But this is exactly the function. This is exactly the same functions that helps a child build their ideas around who they are, build their ideas around people, build their beliefs, build their opinions, and a lot of other things, right? So I'll give you a very simple example, because I see 90% of mothers here, let's say females here, and you'll be able to relate to this example. Now, how many of you are mothers? Can you show me your hands, either virtually or physically? Okay. Okay, I see Nidhi madam, I see Shelly madam. Okay. Nidhi madam, I'm going to come to you, right? So, Nidhi madam, where are you? Oh, you are right here. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. Let me go across the screen. Let me come back to Shrestha madam. Shrestha madam, are you a mother?
Sir, I'm unmarried.
Acha. Fair ठीक है. That's okay. Okay, I think I somehow missed seeing that. I think I saw a few hands up there. Sharu Sharma madam. Madam, I'm sending you a request to unmute. Madam, did you get the request to unmute? चारू मैडम ने कोई ऐसी सेटिंग लगा रखी है कि आप उनको रिक्वेस्ट भी भेजो अनम्यूट की तो उनको रिक्वेस्ट आती नहीं है. So Okay, I'm sending you the request once again. Madam, did you get the request? No, I think it's not good. Madam, can you hear me?
Yeah, sir. I'm hear you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Are you a mother?
Yeah. I am mother. I have 2 kids. Both are girls.
You have two kids, both are girls.
Yeah.
Okay. मुझे ना आपकी बात सुन के वो जोक याद आ गया. They used to say, I have 2 sons, both are boys. Did you get that? I have 2 sons, both are boys. Okay, got that. So Charu madam, tell me one thing. Do you remember? And I want everybody to go into that state, if your parents, and try and visualize that. Charu madam, when you gave birth to your first daughter, right, the very first child, and जब आपने अपने बेटी का face first time देखा, right at the time of birth, how was the feeling?
So very good. I'm feeling very proud to be a mother.
Okay. So felt very good, and and a proud feeling, and you felt very happy.
Yes, sir.
On that. So
I'm
हुआ
very
क्या
happy.
कि there's a Hanji.
Yeah, sir. I'm very happy.
Very happy.
Yeah.
Can I say पड़ता?
No,
Just
sir.
joking, right? No, I'm just on a lighter note. I get that you're very happy. I can see that on your face. Now, somebody like Charu madam, she was blessed with a baby, and and as mothers, and I don't mind confessing it, here with everybody. It is only a mother who understands the phase of 9 months when the baby is developing within them. It's a very different phase, and only a mother can understand. And when the husbands, they say, I understand, they're lying. No, they don't understand, right? They can probably sympathize, but they don't understand that. They cannot understand that. Nobody can be in the shoes of a mother for those 9 months. Only a mother knows that, right? So now this mother was blessed with a baby, and she had gone through those 9 months, and those 9 months are, when you have to take care of yourself, you have to take care of the food that you consume, you have to take care of a lot of other things. You have to take care that you ab bahut zyada सीढ़ियां ना चढ़ो, बहुत ज़्यादा weight ना उठाओ. There's so many precautions you got to take. Now this mother was blessed with a baby, and when the baby was born, she looked at the very first glimpse of the baby. She looked at the baby and she had tears in her eyes. And a few days later, this mother comes back home with the baby, and out of love, and out of care, and out of so much of love that was there. Charu madam, aapko I think wo karna okay, let me put you on mute. Okay, got that. So out of love, this mother looked at the baby and said, what, beta, baby, I am your mother. I am the one. I am the one who held you within me for 9 months. I'm the one. Beta, say mama. Beta, say mama, mama, mama. And this child is too young, just a few days old, and he can't say that. And but the mother is doing this out of love. So the baby looks up at the mother, and बोल तो नहीं सकता बच्चा, but psychologically, probably he looks up at the mother and says, अभी time नहीं हुआ है. अभी बोलने का time नहीं हुआ है, right? Now, and she does it every day. Beta, I am your mama. I am, say mama, mama, love for the baby. Say mama, mama. Now, the husband has been observing this for quite a few days. कि कुछ तो चल रहा है. ये बच्चे को ट्रेन किया जा रहा है मम्मा मम्मा बोलने के लिए, तो मैं कहीं पीछे ना रह जाऊं. So this man comes over and says, beta, papa, beta, papa, say papa, say papa. And this baby is too young, and he looks up and says, आप दोनों को समझ नहीं आती है कि अभी बोलने का टाइम नहीं हुआ है, right? Psychologically, the boy can't say anything, the baby can't say anything. So So this goes on for a few months, and a few months down the line, this baby was lying on the bed, and the father was taking care of his bag. He was about to leave for his office, and the mother was at home taking care of some house chores, and this baby is lying right in the center of the bed, and he says the very first word, and every father and every mother would want to hear, every father would want to hear papa is the first word, and every mother would want to hear mama is the first word. And एक आवाज निकल के आती है, and this baby says bua, bua, and the moment the mother hears the word bua, she goes crazy.
Sir, sorry to
She looks at the
interrupt
baby
you.
first.
But
Who's interrupting, by the way? Okay, Shrestha madam. Yes, please. Yes,
it's
please.
me, it's a straight question.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
please,
Sir,
madam. Go ahead.
actually, I said the first word bua only. I said the first word bua only.
Oh, did you say that? And
Yes, sir.
and was your mother happy about it?
They are kind of confused, obviously, because I wasn't staying with my bua, but then they are like, "Ki isne kaise sikha ye word?" But then I said it, like, it was my first word. My mother.
That was your first word too. Fantastic. Maybe आपके केस में तो मुझे श्योर नहीं है, लेकिन जिस मदर को मैं रेफर कर रहा हूँ, in her case, she wasn't happy. She said she looked at the baby, and then she looked at the husband, and she said ये बच्चा भी partial हुआ है अपने father की तरफ, and he said bua, and and the bua got to know that the baby has said the first word as bua, and out of the excitement, बुआ ने अपने घर के बुए किए बंद, and बुआ came running to the house, and she entered the house, and she said, you know what, कि ये बच्चा बिल्कुल बुआ पे जाएगा, ये बच्चा बिल्कुल बुआ पे जाएगा. Now listening to this, कि ये बच्चा बुआ पे जाएगा, now the mother had two feelings. One feeling was the external feeling, जो कहना पड़ता, right? And the बुआ said, and the mother said to the बुआ कि बुआ जी बिल्कुल आप पे जाएगा, इससे अच्छी बात तो कोई हो ही नहीं सकती है, right? And the second feeling that she was really dealing with was the real feeling, इतना सा भी ना चला जाए. So this is just on a lighter note, and but what I'm trying to share with you is what I'm trying to bring to your understanding is that कि जो छोटा सा बच्चा भी होता है ना, that child, right, because you are teachers and you are educators and you're dealing with loads of them, वो छोटा सा बच्चा भी, his mirror neurons or her mirror neurons, they are picking up things and they're storing with them, and that's how that's how their psychology is shaping up, slowly and gradually. So the point is that चाहे बच्चा छोटा हो, लेकिन जो mirror neurons हैं बच्चे के, they are working at a very fast pace. And as an educator, and at the same time as a parent as well, what we say, to our student in the classroom, what we do and how we behave stays with a child for a very long time. It stays for a child for a very, very long time. And hence, a teacher who is looking at probably leaving a legacy has to be very careful about, what do you say to a child, how do you really behave with him, and what kind of environment he is being given in the classrooms. I remember I was in 11th, and maths was a subject that I was not very comfortable with, and I wouldn't score too well in mathematics. And one fine day, on my PTM, my mother comes along to the PTM, and my maths teacher, she tells my mother in front of a lot of parents in the classroom, she tells my mother that इसने ना कुछ नहीं करना, इसने ना धक्के खाने हैं, ये धक्के खाएगा, इसने कुछ नहीं करना, आप ऐसे ही अपने पैसे खराब कर रहे हो, you know, फीस दे के स्कूल में, इसको निकाल के इसको घर बिठा लो. And you know, maybe she was saying that so that I become serious about studies, or you know, I start taking things seriously. Maybe that was her intention. But you know what had happened was that entire picture is very vivid for me today also. And that whole conversation that happened in my classroom in front of a lot of parents, it stayed with me, and it stayed with me in a very negative way, because that day I felt very small. I felt humiliated. I felt, you know, कि टीचर भी अगर यही कह रही है कि मेरा कुछ नहीं होगा, तो मेरे को लगता है मेरा जिंदगी में वाकई कुछ नहीं हो पाएगा, you know. And just to you know, prove her wrong, that I'm going to bounce back, you know, I started working hard, you know, कि मैं कुछ, you know, maths में marks तो नहीं बहुत improve हुए, but then I could do a few other things in life. And but what happens is that not everybody bounces back. Somebody takes those instances and they keep it very closely with their heart, and it affects their psychology. And that's why they say that, you know, 75% of a child's overall development, their belief systems, their perceptions, their opinions about others, themselves, it's all shaped by the age of about, you know, 14, 15 max. And what is being said up until that age, you know, whatever they're seeing, उसका बहुत ज़्यादा impact है बच्चों के ऊपर. That was an interesting voice in between, by the way. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, so as a teacher, you know, one has to be very, very careful of, you know, what is being said, because बच्चे जो हैं हमारे classroom के, they are shaping their ideas. And you know what WHO is saying is that, you know, post pandemic के बाद, you know, kids during pandemic, they were socially deprived, emotionally they could not really cope up because they saw a lot of misery. बच्चों ने बहुत ज़्यादा misery देखी, a lot of misery they have seen. The only difference is that some of them are expressive and some of them are not so expressive. The ones who are expressive would probably talk about their challenges. The ones who are not so expressive, I can bet you, we meet kids day in, day out, and they're holding on to a lot of emotions, a lot of them. And they need a teacher. They need a teacher like you, who they can open up with, you know. So depending upon if you give them that platform, तो वो बच्चे कहीं ना कहीं खुल के आपके सामने आएंगे, and they'll probably share their ideas with you, right? So are you with me on that? Yeah. Did you get the point of 75%? Yes. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. Let me share something with you. Okay, now there was this study done by a gentleman called Rick Smith, and he is a teacher educator, and he travels to different parts of the world, and he has identified, you know, few attributes that goes in the making of a great teacher. Right now, if you look at these attributes, they are simple, but at the same time, they really have an impact on what goes into making of a great teacher. Now, I'll give you a cue. I'll give you something to reflect upon. If you think of your best teacher, you know, the teacher that you had while you were young, maybe some of you are still young, you know, so when you were young in the school and you were studying in the school, you know, everybody had a favorite teacher, everybody, you know. Now, what made that teacher favorite? This slide kinds of cover that. This is a study done by Rick Smith, and he figured out कि जो भी, you know, a great teacher, there are some elements that goes into it, right? So, you know, she's happy, she's compassionate, she's approachable. You know, मैंने आपको pointers में डाला, but when we look at these all of these you know, attributes, approachable was, you know, somewhere on top, and with a lot of points being given to approachable. Now, a great teacher, you know, should be approachable, you know, a good listener, empathetic, assertive at the same time, you know, a fine balance between firm and polite, fun loving, knowledgeable, and kids really respect teachers who are knowledgeable, right? They command that respect, out of their knowledge. They're also role models and supportive, right? So the question to ask is, without any markings. So we'll not do any markings here, but the question to ask is that, am I, so as a teacher, this is something for your reflection. Am I happy? Am I happy? uh, am I compassionate? Am I approachable? uh, am I a good listener? Am I empathetic? Right? Some teachers are very happy listening to this. हाँ, मेरा तो सब पे टिक लगता जा रहा है. Very good. I think I'm definitely a great teacher. So, am I assertive? Right? Am I fun loving? Right? Fun loving, very crucial. अगर आपकी क्लासरूम्स में थोड़ा सा ह्यूमर है, थोड़ा सा फन है, थोड़ी सी एक्टिविटीज हैं, तो learning will automatically be seen as fun in your classrooms, right? Am I knowledgeable? So knowledgeable पे there was a very good उन्होंने expand करके समझाया था. Knowledgeable doesn't mean only SME, subject matter expertise. They had mentioned this whole thing that subject matter expertise तो हमारा होता ही, whatever subject that we are teaching, but do you have a knowledge about a lot of things? It's like a jack of all trades. कि थोड़ी थोड़ी knowledge बाकी चीजों के बारे में भी, so that when a child interacts with you, he sees your spectrum of knowledge, right? So knowledge not only in terms of subject matter, but knowledge about a lot of other things as well, right? Are you a role model? Right? So a very crucial one again. Are you supportive? Now, a lot of times, kids, they end up doing things which are not very, very appropriate. But can we consider, not rebuking them and helping them understand that what went wrong? We give them that support and then help them understand that they could have had a better choice of the actions, right? So, the making of a great teacher. So maybe if you want to take a, I think सबने लिखना शुरू कर दिया क्या chat box में? Yes, 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 I am a great teacher. I don't know, or maybe ये previous वाले yes हैं. I don't know. And the chat box shows yes, yes, yes. Okay, so this is for you to look at, the making of a great teacher. Now, no answers required here, but I would request each one of you to look into it and do this reflection for yourself. That are you a great teacher? Because a great teacher, there's a very popular quote which says that a teacher affects eternity. A teacher affects eternity. No one knows where her influence stops. They say कि कई बारी teacher का जो influence है, वो generation to generation, एक family में गया, then they passed it on, then they further passed it on. So a teacher affects eternity, and nobody knows where their influence stops, right? So the interesting thing is कि chat box में, yes, madam, you're right. Self introspection needed here. So that's why I'm not asking for answers. I'm only, you can probably take a picture of the slide or a screenshot and probably ask yourself, while you're doing introspection. Thank you for that, madam. And yeah, so that's that, the making of a great teacher. Now, let me share something with you. Okay. Now, do you have a pen and a paper? Can I see that? Do you have a pen and a paper? Okay, I see Rachna madam with her notepad. Others, do you have a pen and a paper? Okay, so people have that. So now time for an activity where we'll have a lot of fun, and at the same time we'll also learn, and I'll put the puzzles together towards the end of it, right? So do you have your notepads? Do you have your notepads? Do you have something to write on? मैंने ना अपना वो टूल ऑन कर दिया जो कैमरे के पीछे देख लेता है, वो टूल बता रहा है कि कुछ लोगों के पास नोटपैड्स नहीं है. Okay, so if you don't have, would appreciate if you have something to write on. So my tool is telling me कि कई जगहों पे notepads missing है, right? Okay. So assuming that everybody is सपना मैडम ने फोटो दिखाई है उसकी अपने रजिस्टर की पूरी, ये देखो ये रहा मेरा. Okay, Neha Sharma madam has also shown us. All right, got that. ठीक है. So assuming that everybody has it, we dive into an activity. Shelly madam, I can see that. Thank you. Yeah, so people have it. So we dive into an activity, and the title is flow, and I'll close the puzzle at the end of the activity. Now, a lot of times, what happens is that, while we are teaching, last 2 years, there has been a lot of sedentary activity. बच्चे भी घर पे थे, and a lot of times teachers were also at home, but not as much as the kids were at home. So बैठ के action ज़्यादा था, खड़े वाला action कम था, sedentary action ज़्यादा था, right? Now, when you come back to a classroom, in a classroom, you're standing and you're delivering a session and you're talking to the kids, and that's how things are happening. Now, have you ever experienced a scenario wherein you were teaching something and somebody interrupted? You attended to what they had to say. कि बच्चे ने कहा कि मैम मुझे I want to go to the washroom या मुझे पानी पीना है. You attended to that, and you wanted to come back to what you were teaching, and you suddenly felt कि मैं क्या पढ़ा रही थी. You lost the connection. You lost that point कि मैंने last क्या point बोला था अभी. Has that ever happened to you? Ever? Yeah. Okay. And that's a very troubling situation, because I have been to classrooms for teachers, kids, and parents, and it can be a very troubling situation. You're asking yourself, hey Bhagwan, मैंने क्या last point बोला था अभी, right? And the kids are and the kids are pretty sharp. They identify कि मैडम की ना बत्ती गुल हो गई है. मैडम के दिमाग से निकल गया वो क्या पढ़ा रही थी. And some notorious child sitting at the back says कि मैडम की बत्ती चली गई है. Now the teacher has heard it, that the child has said something like that, and she's praying to the God, and she's requesting the Almighty कि कहाँ छोड़ा मैंने. And then she behaves as if she changes the game. She behaves as if, okay, Rahul, tell me what was the last point I was talking about. She doesn't know. She's behaving in a different way. And Rahul understands कि madam भूल गई है, लेकिन ठीक है. So Rahul says, madam, you were talking about so and so. Okay, good. I like that you were paying attention. Man teacher कह रही है, शुक्र है इसने याद दिला दिया मुझे, right? Now I got the point. Now that notorious boy sitting at the end says, madam की light आ गई है, बत्ती वापस आ गई है, right? Now what happens is that the point where we left and to the point wherein we wanted to come back, something goes missing, and we lose our flow, right? Now, why this happens and how it is related, I'll come back to it, but just to understand that, let's do a quick activity. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, got that. So you get 2 minutes. Let me set my stopwatch. You will get 2 minutes to write down as many words as possible, starting from a specific letter, right? So for example, if the letter is P, P for Punjab, and if the letter is P, you cannot write names. You cannot write names. So for example, if the letter is P, you cannot write Pappu or Popli. You cannot write names, right? At the same time, you cannot write places. If the letter is P, you cannot write Poland, Punjab. You cannot write the places, right? And if the letter is P, also you cannot write, animals and birds. So you can't write polar bear. You cannot write parrot, right? And there's another thing that you cannot write, which is any English teacher here? Anybody who teaches English here? Any English teacher here? Okay. Okay, got that. Proper noun. Okay, got that. So there is something called play, played, playing. Some people call it degrees of comparison. So you can only probably have one of them. Play, played, or playing. You cannot write all three of them. You can just choose probably one. And so you cannot write name, you cannot write place, you cannot write animal words, and you cannot write the 3 degrees of comparison. You can probably choose one of them. Play, played, playing में से कोई एक, right? Now you get 2 minutes to put down as many words as you can, and probably get your vault, get your vault in place, and bring as much out as you can. By the way, the letter is not P. Okay, everybody. Some people are already writing, very smart people. They're already writing, thinking that letter P hai. There are smarter people who have Googled it by now. Letters from P. That's not helping. The letter is not P. Okay. So I'm going to count 3, and I'm going to give you the letter. Did anybody say anything? Shrestha madam, you have a query?
Yeah, actually, I had already thought this word only and started writing all the words that are coming in my mind.
Correct.
Now you are saying you are changing the word.
देखो ऐसे ही होता ना, as a teacher also आप भी तो classroom में करते हुए, right? You change the game, right? So the game has to be changed. Okay, got that. So on a count of 3, I'm sharing the letter, and you get 2 minutes to write down as many as you can. 1, 2, 3. The letter is A. A. नहीं, चैट बॉक्स में नहीं लिखना मैडम, अपने अपने पेज पे लिखना है. And my humble appeal is that nobody will take the services of Google Baba. Right? This is your own activity. "45 seconds over." "1 minute, 10 seconds over." You are left with 45 seconds. ये जो लोग कैमरे के पीछे हैं ना, ये बहुत खुश हैं इस एक्टिविटी में. "5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time up. Time up. Time up. So nobody writes, please. Nobody writes. I remember I was doing a session in a physical setup, and there were teachers sitting, and there were some teachers sitting at the back, and I said time up, and a few of them were like, they were looking at me, and they said, yeah, time up, yes, we got it. And उनका जो दूसरा हाथ है वो नीचे लिख रहा था, right? So I hope that's not happening here. And so right now, how many words could you yeah, Nidhi madam, I get that. I see both your hands. Yeah. Nidhi madam, don't worry, I get it. You're not doing that. I get it. Right. So how many words could you put together? Can you put that in the chat box? 23. Atrui Gupta madam, 23. Okay. Can you put your answers in the chat box? How many words could you write? 22, 17, 16. Okay. 12. Okay. On that. 17, 16, 12, 15. Okay, 17. 13, 19. ये ऐसे नहीं लग रहा कि लोग वही नंबर डाल रहे हैं जो देख रहे हैं. अच्छा, अभी तक किसी ने लिखा नहीं 17, चलो 17 डाल दो फिर. So, okay, got that. I think 22, 14, 21. Okay, got that. Let's see, do we have, what's the highest? 21, 22. Let me go back in the chat and see which is the highest. Okay, currently the highest is, okay, 21, 20. Okay, so the highest is 23. Atrei Gupta, madam. Madam, yes. Are you happy?
Yes, sir.
I think, can we give her a round of applause?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Madam,
And I'm writing it down in the chat box also. Just give me a moment for that.
no, don't worry, don't worry. We believe you. Yeah. So,
Okay.
by the way, let me tell you something. By looking at some of the teachers and their faces, उनको देख के ऐसे लग रहा है कि उनके मन में शंका है कि कि पता नहीं लिखे हैं नहीं लिखे हैं, लेकिन चलो मान
But
लेते
yes,
हैं.
I'm writing it down.
When you do this physically, then it's different fun altogether. But no, don't worry, don't write, madam. I'm just joking. Don't write.
Okay,
That's
okay,
That's okay.
okay,
That's okay.
okay.
23. Now,
Yes.
did you all feel? Did you come to a point wherein you felt कि words हैं यहाँ पे, लेकिन आ नहीं रहे हैं? You know, they're not coming out. It's here, but not coming out. Did you face that? Yeah. Okay. You had gone through that situation. Okay, got that. Now, let me put something on the board for you. So what technically happens is, all right, we don't need this one. Okay. All right, 1 second. Can you see my screen? Okay, let me. All right.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Yeah. Okay. So what really happens is, let me draw this and so in our brain there is a transmission happening through neurons through which we get the messages and then we roll out and we do the action. So for example, if I say, put your hands up, the communication happens and then you raise your hand up, right? Now, generally this circuit is well connected. Right now, every time there is a gap in the circuit here, every time there is a gap in the circuit here, it creates a space called blank, right? It's the same space that a child at times tells you that कि मुझे आता तो सब कुछ था, but I went blank and then I forgot everything, right? So technically what happens is, whenever there is a blank space that gets created, ये जो neurons का जो connection है आपस में, it breaks, right? And hence it leads to a gap and we are unable to recall anything, right? Now, when that happens, we go through that phase wherein we know it somehow. Our conscious logic tells us कि मुझे आता तो है, लेकिन we're not able to really, put that out. Now there are two ways of looking at this. One is that, we were talking about a teacher who creates a legacy, and at the same time, I also want to, connect it to what happened post pandemic. Now, how many of you are seeing, learning gaps? How many of you are seeing learning gaps? How many of you have seen kids who appeared for examinations online and they scored very well, and while now they're back to school, the results have gone down? Can you see that? Yes. So जितना home support था वो बंद हो गया, तो reality में अब जो numbers असली वाले हैं वो वापस आने लग गए हैं, right? I know you understand the message. So now what is happening is that last 2 years, Okay, so last 2 years, there was a lot of sedentary activity, and kids were not fully engaged in the learning, in the teaching learning processes. Now, when they are back into the classrooms, they're struggling with learning as well. So what WHO is saying is that because बच्चों का जो learning muscle था, that wasn't active for last 2 years, so even the pace at which they are now learning, वो जो pace है वो भी कम हो गया है. So you would see a bright child also taking some time to pick up things. Are you seeing that? बच्चे slow हो गए हैं थोड़ा सा. So what it does is it's something called OTS thinking. Now to bring back kids to a situation wherein their mirror neurons, the not the mirror neurons, sorry, the neurotransmitters are functioning actively, you have to put them into a mode called OTS thinking. Now, OTS stands for on the spot, on the spot. Now, when you have to think something on the spot, an activity wherein you can't come prepared for, right? So what I did with you, this activity, there was no way that you could have come prepared for this because आपको मालूम ही नहीं था कि क्या होने वाला है. Are you with me? Right? So something like this is on, it's called OTS, on the spot thinking, wherein the kids will have to think on the spot without trying, without memorizing anything. Now, there are two benefits. One, that it will help them form better connections of neurotransmitters, which will also escalate their learning pace. But this has to be done regularly, different kinds of activities to be done on regular basis. Second is the legacy teacher, the teacher who leaves the legacy. When you do this, it also creates a lot of fun environment. Abhi hum log to online kar rahe hain, right? But when you do it in a physical format, it creates a lot of fun structure around it. Would you agree? फिर हम मैडम को बोल सकते थे, अथरी मैडम को कि मैडम, let us see your sheet maybe. Your colleagues are saying कि 23 लिखे या नहीं लिखे, let's check it out maybe. And देखते हैं कि हमने सारे she's showing me the sheet कि लिखे हैं मैंने, right? So all that fun in a physical format. So your classrooms become fun. The idea is that, okay, Nidhi madam is consoling her. Yeah, it's visible. Yeah, okay, we get that. So we agree. So no fights over it. So classrooms should become fun, and at the same time, it also helps them, build their connections in a better way, because ज़्यादातर बच्चों में वो एक slow pace नजर आ रही है, right? So to deal with that also. Now that's one. There's another thing that you can do with these kids is it's called changing the patterns, right? And we'll do a very simple example of that. How many of you, or let me rather be more specific, who can say A to Z in less than 7 seconds? A to Z in less than 7 seconds. Anybody who can give it a shot? A to Z in less than 7 seconds. Okay. Anybody?
Sir.
Shweta madam, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so I see Charu madam, I see Meena Goma madam. I think I see a new hand here. So Meena madam, can I put you on? I'm sending you a request to unmute.
Yes, sir.
Madam, your challenge is to say A to Z in less than 7 seconds. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and we all hear you out. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, go.
A B C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z.
मैडम, आपने आज लंच किया या टाइम ही नहीं लगा आज?
सर मुझे नर्सरी पढ़ाते हुए काफी टाइम हो गया और बहुत टाइम पढ़ा रही हूँ मैं.
बहुत तेजी से आपने बोला, लेकिन लेट्स चेक विद द ऑडियंस कि सारे लेटर्स बोले गए हैं या कुछ खाया गया बीच में. ओके, सो अगर नहीं खाए हैं तो ना बोलो, खाया तो हाँ बोलो. ओके सर. सम पीपल आर सेंडिंग मी डायरेक्ट मैसेज कि स्क्रीन पे तो हाँ नहीं बोल सकते लेकिन खाए हैं. ओके, सो मीना मैडम, व्हाट विल डू इज we'll give you another chance. Are you ready?
Wait a minute, sir. Yeah, sure, sir.
Okay.
Sure, sir.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, go.
A B C D F G I J K L I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z.
मुझे लग रहा है इस बारी I think this is complete this time. Madam,
actually, sir, my throat is not well. That's why I'm taking this much time. Actually, today I am also not well, sir.
That's okay. I get that, but I really appreciate, despite being unwell, you still made an effort. But I'll tell you how much time did you take. You did it in 5 seconds and 10 milliseconds.
एक second, sir. So let me start 1, 2, and 3, right?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, start.
A B C D F G H I J K L M P Q R S T U V W X Y Z. I hope
we lost your voice for a microsecond in between. Can you do it once again? 1, 2, 3, go. Wow, you did it in 4 seconds. 4 seconds, 43 milliseconds. Wow, so you are ahead. And Meena madam is not very happy about it, I must tell you. Okay, I want to have yet another person who gives a challenge to Shrestha madam and probably tries building a better record than this. Anybody? Charu madam? Okay. I'm sending you a request to unmute. Are you there? Charu madam, can you unmute?
AB to start.
नहीं मैडम रुको जरा, आपको टाइम हम थोड़ा सा ज्यादा देंगे. गेम में थोड़ा सा चेंज है, स्लाइड चेंज इन द गेम, राइट? आपने चारू मैडम क्या करना है, आपने भी गेम तो यही खेलनी है, लेकिन आपने रिवर्स करना है, Z to A करना है आपने रिवर्स करना है, राइट? And we'll give you a little more time. Are you ready? Are you ready? मैडम is saying मेरा बच्चा भी देख रहा है, बड़ा मुश्किल हो जाएगा. Okay, got that. So I'll tell you something. This is called. Don't worry, Charu madam will not put you to this. Will not get you to do this. But you can definitely try. But what happens is, because of our regular priming of doing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, that order, a brain is primed to do it in a particular way. Similarly, if you challenge the brain by doing it in a reverse order, your brain is a bit confused. Ki karna kaise hai ye, you're not used to the whole idea of doing it, right? Now, but when you do that, that's one of the classical activities to generate more cells, and it also helps you start thinking, spontaneously. A brilliant activity to generate more cells to think spontaneously, right? Thoda sa effort lagta hai isme definitely, but when you do it, it definitely helps you, right? And maybe initially it will take a little more time, but what I really want you to do is, when you go back to your classrooms, you might want to give this as a fun challenge to the kids, and maybe reward the winner with something. Ask them that, when you come tomorrow, we have a Z to A challenge. Come back with a Z to A. The one who ends up doing it in the least amount of time will be rewarded with so and so, depending upon whatever you wish to do, right? Now, this is something that, when I was trying to do, it was very hard, because I would do Z Y, X, and my mind would say X, Y, Z. So I would try and do Z, Y, X, and my mind would say X, Y, Z. But I tried overcoming it, and once I was able to do it, I really felt very good, and though challenging, but very, very good. So because I've asked you to do that, I'll also showcase it to you. Are you ready? So would somebody time me? Would somebody time me for this? Anybody who time me? Any volunteers for timing me? Okay, I think I see Vikas's iPhone. So I'm not sure, is that Vikas sir or somebody behind, but it says Vikas's iPhone. Sir, are you timing me?
Okay, sir. Try.
Okay, so Vikas sir is timing. Sir, are you ready?
Sir, just a minute. I'm just setting my timer.
Okay.
Ready, sir?
Sir, are you ready? Sir, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I'm ready.
Okay, so you tell me 1, 2, 3, and I'll begin.
Okay, fine, sir. So, ready, sir?
Yes, sir, ready.
1, 2, 3, go ahead.
ZYX, WV, UTS, RQP, ONM, LKJI, HGF, EDCBA.
Sir, 9 seconds.
9 seconds. So good. I wanted to attempt under 10 seconds. Now one exercise that it's a lot of fun when you do it in a physical classroom, and at the same time helps you, generate a lot of cells and scientifically proven, and that helps you, be a little more spontaneous as well. And so good one. I think let me give this challenge to everybody. Not only kids, but also teachers can probably come back and do this together. Right. So this is one. Now, let me share something with you. 1 second. So this is exactly what we were doing. And okay. Now, remember that we are referring to a teacher who leaves a legacy. So that teacher, definitely, you are that teacher, and it's imperative that your classrooms are fun. There is learning involved, and kids remember, years after, कि वो वाली madam ने ना वो करवाया था, and that was so much fun, and we all loved it, right? Now what you see on the screen is something very, it's based out of a survey that we did, and what we found out through the survey was not something very motivating or encouraging, but yet at the same time, I intend to share it with you so that you have a fair idea of what goes in a child's mind. So we did this survey with 7,347 kids of schools, of different schools in Delhi as a region, and we wanted to check as to what are their top challenges that they are feeling with their adults. It can be teachers, it can be parents. What are their top challenges? And we were really shocked to know their top 3 challenges, right? So when we spoke to these kids, they shared with us that when probably the teachers are talking to them, or when probably they see these 3 things totally missing. Number 1, they feel that कि हमारे पे trust नहीं किया जाता, because language उस तरीके से use होती है कि कहीं ना कहीं they feel that we are not trusted. Maybe they might have made some mistakes. हो सकता है 1-2 बारी उन्होंने गलतियां की होंगी, आपने पकड़ा होगा, but then उसके बाद एक lens change हो गया देखने का बच्चों को, wherein the kids started feeling that every time there's a conversation that happens with us, or the way the behavior is, we feel that कि हमारे पे teachers का और parents का trust नहीं है. Challenge number 1. Second, what they felt was that in the conversations they, let's say if you tell a child कि बेटा नहीं पढ़ोगे तो बहुत दिक्कत आएगी, कुछ बन नहीं पाएगा आपका, and धक्के खाने पड़ेंगे. There was a funny conversation that was happening, and this mother and son, they were in a market, and the mother said कि नहीं पढ़ोगे ना, अगर तुम देख रहे हो सब्जी वाला, तुम इसी की तरह सब्जियां बेच रहे होगे. And this child, gets angry and says, Mom, मेरा भी कोई standard है, मैं सब्जियां नहीं बेचूंगा. अब वो देखो मोमोज की रेडी. I'll probably sell momos, so in a lighter way. But what happens is that while our intention is fantastic, as teachers, our intention is to give everything to our child, to the students, so that they do very well. But कई बारी conversation में बच्चों को ये लगता है कि teachers feel that we're not good. We're not good for anything, and we might not be able to do well in life. So belief is their second challenge that they expressed. The third was, kids feel that somehow we aren't appreciated as much. We are pinpointed for anything and everything that's wrong, but we aren't really appreciated. And they say that appreciation is something that can fill up a person's mind. Very, very powerful. They say that appreciation, a genuine appreciation and a genuine compliment can fill up a person's mind, right? So top 3 challenges that kids report: lack of trust, belief, and lack of appreciation. So a humble appeal to all the teachers out there would be कि कोशिश करो कि आपकी conversations में trust है, not only with the students in the school, but same if you're a parent also, in your conversations with your kids at home, trust दिखना चाहिए है, belief होना चाहिए conversations में, and appreciation भी होना चाहिए. You might have to put in a conscious effort to do this, but that is something that will make you a great teacher, who would leave a legacy, right? So that's that. Now this is the last one, and then we conclude this. Now, how many of you, it says the ancient secret of happiness, and I want to give it to you. Now, how many of you, genuinely feel that there is some or the other stress in life? You can probably show your hands, and these stress levels jo hain, they are on a higher level. How many of you feel that? You feel that, that the stress levels are going up? You can write yes in the chat box maybe, or you can show a thumbs up, or probably raise your hand virtually. And agar stress nahi hai, so then I will have to come back to you to learn कि आप ऐसा क्या कर रहे हो that you're having a great time, right? So I think everybody undergoes some or the other situation wherein the stress levels are going up. And I want to give you a secret to happiness, because they say that the goal of all the other goals in life, is eventually to be happy. Very profound statement. I don't know who made it, but I loved it when I read it for the very first time. That the goal of all the other goals is eventually to be happy. Yes or no? That's what we're technically looking at. And there is this secret found on the mountains that if you practice, it brings in happiness on daily basis. And let me run you through this quick exercise, which is a secret found on the mountains and has been given by sages. Are you ready? Are you ready? So I would prefer कि जितने ज़्यादा लोग कैमरे पे आ पाए, that will be better, and we'll be able to do this activity in a better way. And maybe a few more seconds, and okay, so we see a few people coming up on the camera. Okay, got that. Yeah, I see a few more faces. So what we'll do is we'll put our hands in front like this. Put your hands in the front like this. Okay. Now have the 3 fingers coming in, and it looks like that you have formed a gesture which looks similar to either pointing out or shooting maybe. So can you have that? Yeah, Shelly madam, can you have that? Okay, everybody. Okay, now very carefully join the thumbs. Join the thumbs. Join the thumbs, right? Now press the thumb towards each other. Press the thumb towards each other, and you will see that the thumb is shaking, right? Press the thumb towards each other. Yeah. And now on a count of 3, take it straight above you. Take it straight above you. 1, 2, 3. Take it straight above you. Now separate it, and your arms should be parallel to the ground. Your arms should be parallel to the ground, right? Now, when I say 1, you have to drop it. And when I say 2, you bring it up, right? 1, drop it, drop it, drop it. And when I say 2, bring it up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so you probably did not realize I made you do some bhangla, right? So this is no technique on the mountains. I made you do some bhangla moves. And what I really mean to say is that, you decide your happiness. You decide your actions that will make you happy. And they say that music and dance is a very, very powerful contributor to the whole gamut called happiness. So music and dance is very, very powerful and a great contributor to how you feel, right? So अगर मैं वैसे बोलता कि सारे भंगड़ा करेंगे तो आपने करना नहीं था. So I thought, let me trick you into doing it maybe. And and that's that. And yeah, and probably there's so much more that we could have discussed, but given the timelines, we're going to stop it here. And probably when we meet sometime physically, we probably take it further from there. So thank you very much for your time, for your patience, for your active participation, and especially the fact that you already had a long day and you came back home and you immediately plugged in, and you were here throughout in terms of your participation and also your attention. I strongly feel that each one of you is a great teacher, and with your words and with your actions and with your gestures, you can make a huge difference in the life of kids. So thank you very much for your time, and I really appreciate being here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We also have our principal ma'am from Shishu Kalyan School. Ma'am, would you like to say something?
Oh, great.
Good evening, Mr. Kamalneet. I'm the principal SKS, and most of the teachers was having a conversation with you today were from
Fantastic.
us. So Shrestha, as she was the most active participant today.
Correct. Correct.
So, sir, I would like to convey my heartfelt thanks from all the partner schools of DLF for taking this session to a different level. And as the Teachers' Day is approaching, what could be a better topic than a legacy of teacher, right? So I just recall something from your session today where you were talking about mirror neurons, right? So I just addressed all the teacher. Now on this Teachers' Day, if a teacher, any student imitates you, so you come to know that how it works actually, right? So our action really speaks. Our action speaks. The student, they imitate us. So whatever you have said, every word means a truth. Means whatever the teachers are doing in the class, the children, they really catch it very fast, and they try to reflect in the same manner. So I request all the teacher. And one more point you have taken up. Am I? So there, the most important part was, am I a role model for my students? Right? Because once you say, yes, I am a role model, that means it will cover all the other points which were mentioned in that slide.
True.
If you are a role model, you have knowledge also, you are happy also, because whatever you are expecting out of your students, you are giving, you are doing that, you are a role model. So although I have left teaching long time back, but I really enjoyed the session, and I can say on behalf of all the teachers that they have also enjoyed as you enjoyed doing it today. Thank you so much. And I really pay my gratitude and thanks to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It was equally a pleasure, and best wishes to each one of you, and a very, very happy Teachers' Day. May you keep making a difference, and there is nobody, literally nobody like a teacher. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the delightful session. Thank
One
you
more
so
thing I would like to add, sir. To all the teachers, I have thank you, and I want to thank every teacher who is sitting here, that you all are God chosen one. Yes. So do that job. Do that job. As in the end of the session, you have given them the technique of how to keep themselves happy and stress-free. So once you are with the students, stay with them. Be happy, because they are the most beautiful creature of the God. So you are God chosen one, and they are the best creature of the God. So with that, I wish all the teachers and you too a very happy Teachers Day. Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Kamalneet, sir. And thank you all the teachers, and wish you a very happy Teachers Day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.